Hey guys, welcome to level 1 MCAT 2017 for day 1. We'll just get straight into it. So question 1. The distance d centimeters traveled by an object is given by d equals to u times t plus 3t squared. If u equals to 3 and t equals to 5, calculate the distance that the object has traveled. So basically in this question, we're just going to substitute u equals to 3 and t equals to 5 in the equation. So we're going to say that d equals to 3, 5 plus 3, 5 times 5 squared, okay? So then we can just expand, so if d equals to 3 times 5 is 15, so 15 plus, you'd always do the, bed mass, you always do the 5 squared before multiplication, so you're going to do 5 squared times 3, so you can say 25 times 3 is 75, and that equals to 90 centimeters, okay, because it says d centimeters, so it's 90 centimeters, okay. Alright, so this is just an achieved question, so getting up to here is get you an achieved, okay. Okay, so solve 2x squared minus 3x minus 9 equals to 0. So basically, you know the factors of 2. The only factors of 2, because 2 is a prime number, the only factors of 2 are 2 and 1. So it has to be 2x and x. So it has to be 2x something and then x something. Okay, so we're trying to find two numbers. So these two numbers have to multiply to -9, and these two numbers have to add to -3x, given that there's a 2x in brackets. Okay. So now there's you know the factors for 9. So the factors for 9 are 1 and 9, and 3 and 3. So basically, you're just trying to see, if I substitute 9 and 1, what will happen? And if I substitute 3 and 3, what would happen, okay? So let's say we substitute 1 and 9, okay? So for example, let's put a 9 here and 1 here. So 9 times x is 9, 1 times 2x is 2x, and that doesn't give us anywhere near to 3x. And if we switch it around, if we put 9 here and 1 here, then we get 18x and x, and that doesn't get us -3x either. So now we know it has to be 3 and 3, right? So it's, as you can see, it's -3x, and you have a 2 here. So you can say that x minus 3 here. So if you say x minus 3 here, so -3 times by 2x, that's -6x. So -6x, and we have another 3, so we can say plus 3 here. So plus 3 and x is plus 3x. And if we add this together, we'll get -3x, okay? And plus 3 and minus 3 multiplies to -9. And that equals to 0. So now we can know that x is equal to negative 3 over 2, or x equals to 3. Okay, so basically getting all the way here to x as the final answers for x, you'll get a merit grade. To get the achieved grade, you're just factorizing the quadratic. So basically, if you get up to this step, you'll get an achieved. Okay? Alright, next question. If 6x minus y equals to 21 and -x plus 6y equals to 14, what is the value of x minus y? So basically for this question, we have two equations, okay? So basically we're trying to get rid of one variable and have only one variable in an equation, okay? So now we have 6x minus y equals to 21, and we have -x plus 6y equals to 14. Okay, so let's say I want to get rid of x, okay? So if I get rid of x, we have positive 6x in one equation, and then we have equals to 21, and then we have -x in the other equation, okay? Plus 6y equals to 14. Okay, so we want to get rid of this 6x, okay? So how are we going to get rid of this 6x using this equation, okay? So for example, a -6, so if I say 6x plus -x, then that becomes 5x. And if I say 5x plus -x, that becomes 4x. And if you just say 4x plus -x, that's 3x, etc., etc., etc. So therefore, we can say that 6x minus y plus 6 times of this equation. So plus 6 times of -x plus 6y, and that equals to 21 plus, and that equals 21 plus this 14 times 6. So 14 times 6. Okay, so then we can just open these brackets up. Oh god. Open it up, so we'll say 6. Sorry, it's glitching again. Sorry, just refresh. Sorry about that. So we can say 6x minus y plus negative 6x plus 36y equals to 21 plus 14 times 6. 14 times 6 is 84 plus 84. So now we can simplify this even more. So we can say that 6x plus negative 6x is 0. So we can say bye and goodbye. Negative y plus 36y, that's positive 35y. So we can say that 35y is equal to 21 plus 84, which is 105, okay? So now that we have this, we can just say y equals to 105 divided by 35. And that should give us y equals to 3. Okay, so now we found out that y equals to 3. We still need to find out what x is, okay? So we can just put any of these equations. So we can say 6x minus y equals to 21. So we know that y is 3, right? So we can say 6x minus 3 equals to 21. And if we move the negative 3 to the other side, okay, we'll get 21 plus 3. So we can say 6x equals to 24. And therefore we can say x equals to 4. So now that we know that x equals to 4 and y equals to 3, we can say that x minus y, so that means 4 minus 3, so therefore 4 minus 3 equals to 1. Okay, so this is our final answer here. Okay, so getting all the way to your final answer here, that should get you an excellence grade. To get an excellence grade here, to get your final answer with all the working. To get a merit, we solve for one variable. So if we get y equals to 3, or we get x equals to 4, so either one of them will get you a merit grade. And to get an achieved, it's just combining the variables to make an equation to get rid of one variable. So basically getting up to here, this big part should get you an achieved. Right, moving along. Solve 9 times 3 to the power of x minus 4 is greater than 87 when x is a whole number, okay? Okay, so basically, we actually, so you see that 9, we can rewrite 9 as 3 to the power of 2, okay? And we can say 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of x minus 4. You know, okay, so it's greater than 87, but we know that we can't express 87 as 3 to the power of something, right? But we can express 81 as 3 to the power of something. So we can say that 81 equals to 3 to the power of 4. So 3 to the power of 4 equals to 81. And then plus 6, okay? Because 3 to the power of 4 is 81 and it's 87, so I have to add the 6 in, okay? Okay, so basically, combining these equations, so we can get rid of base 3, so this base 3 is gone, so 2 plus, not x, 2 plus x minus 4 is greater than 3 to the power of 4 plus 6, okay? So we can say that x minus 2 is greater than 4, actually, because we can ignore this negative, this is not negative, we can ignore the positive 6 because it's actually greater than 87, okay? So we can ignore the plus 6 only for that reason. So how do I explain this better? So we're trying to find when x is a whole number and when x is bigger than 87, okay? So basically when 3 to the power of 5 is bigger than 87, okay? And 3 to the power of 4 will be smaller than 87, okay? So basically, if we say that x equals to, if 3 to the power of x, 3 to the power of 5 will give us something bigger than 87. So therefore we have to get 3 to the power of 5 at least on the left hand side of the equation. Okay, so basically we just don't really mind the plus 6 because it doesn't really make a difference, because 3 to the power of 4 is 81 and 3 to the power of 5 is actually like 3 to the power of 5 is quite a bit bigger. 3 to the power of 5 is 243, okay? So 3 to the power of 4 doesn't work, but 3 to the power of 5 works, okay? So basically, the plus 6 doesn't really influence the question, so we can just ignore it, okay? So we'll say that, so we're going to take the base 3 away, so we're going to say x minus 2 is greater than 4, and therefore x is greater than 6, okay? Okay, so for example, let's say x is 7, right? So we'll say, substitute this into the original equation. So let's say x is 7, so it'll become 9 times 3 to the power of 7 minus 4. So that would be 3 to the power of 3. And that gives us 243, which is bigger than 87, okay? But let's say x is only equal to 6, okay? Let's say x equals to 6, so 9 times 3 to the power of 2. 9 times 3 to the power of 2. That gives us 81, okay? And like we established, 81 is smaller than 87, so 6 doesn't work, okay? So it's only, so when x is a whole number, so basically x can be, so x can be 7, 8, 9, okay? Etc. Okay. Okay, so if you still don't understand why we get rid of the plus 6, it's only because that 3 to the power of 5, so we can say 3 to the power of 5 equals to 243, and we can say that 243 is greater than 87, okay? So therefore we can just get rid of the plus 6, okay? Because it doesn't really make a difference. So if we say 3 to the power of 4 equals to 81, so therefore x cannot be 6, okay? Because 81 is less than 87, okay? So I'm not too sure if I explained that very well, okay? I might have been a bit bad at explaining that, but hopefully you understand, because 243 is bigger than 87, and because x is a whole number, x can only be an integer value, and if it's an integer value, x to the power of 4 doesn't work, but not x to the power, if 3 to the power of 4 is 81, and 81 is smaller than 87, so 3 to the power of 4 doesn't work, but then 3 to the power of 5 is 243, and 243 is a lot bigger than 87, so basically we can just say the plus 6 is irrelevant, because 3 to the power of 5 is bigger, way bigger than 87 anyway, okay? So that's why we can just ignore the plus 6, okay? And that's only because x is a whole number. If x isn't a whole number, then we have to use, then it's actually a bit more level 2 stuff. So usually when you're doing these exams, it's always going to ask you like when x is a whole number, okay? So then you can use this way to find out, okay? Okay, I don't know if you guys are curious. I know I'm gonna teach. This is actually some level 2 stuff right now. I'm gonna teach you, but like, it's only if you're interested. Okay, if you're not interested, just skip ahead. Okay, just fast forward the video a little bit. Okay, but I'm gonna explain to you how you would do it if it's a level 2 way. Okay, so you can basically just go to the back of this book. Okay, we'll say 9 times 3 to the power of x minus 4 is greater than 87. Okay, so we're still gonna make 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of x minus 4 is greater than 87. So therefore we can say that we can add these. So you know when you multiply same base, and then you add the powers. You don't multiply the powers, you add the powers. So 3 to the power of x minus, so x minus 2 is greater than 87. So now you can use logs, okay? You definitely haven't learned logs before, but I'm gonna teach you, okay? So you see this power, the power is x minus 2, right? So if the power is x minus 2 and 3 is the base, so 3 to the power of x minus 2, okay? So x minus 2 is the power, and then 3 is the base, so it's 3 to the power of something, okay? So when you do log of something, okay, you're gonna take the power down, so the power comes down, okay, and then you'll log both sides, okay. So the x minus 2 comes down, okay. So the x minus 2 is no longer a power, okay. The x minus 2 comes down, okay. So you can say x minus 2. Okay, so now the base, so the base is 3, right? So 3 to the power of something. So the base is 3, so we'll say log of the base. So x minus 2 times of log 3, this is multiply, and it's greater than log 87. So when you do log of one side, you have to do log of the other, okay? So that's so this is what you get, okay? So you should see on your calculator that there's a log option, right? So basically, right now you would if you were doing normal algebra, right, you would say x minus 2 equals to log 87 divided by log 3. So this would be normal. That's algebra, right? So then you can just go into your calculator. You should see the log button. Okay, you press the log button. You say log of 87 divided by log of 3. And what does that give you? That gives you 4.06. So therefore, you can say x minus 2 is, not equals to, I've been saying equals, it's greater than, okay? That was the question, it's greater than. Sorry about that. So it's greater than 4.06, okay? So therefore, if you move the negative 2 to the other side, we'll say that x is greater than 6.06. Okay, so you know that x has to be an integer value, right? So if x is an integer value, the next integer that's larger than 6.06 is 7, because 7 is the next integer that's larger than 6.06, okay? So basically the next integer after 6.06 is 7, okay? So therefore you can say x is, x can be 7, 8, 9, 10, etc, okay? And this way it should be accepted as well, okay? So this is like a more complex way. If you don't really understand why we got rid of the plus 6, you can use this way, okay? And it should be accepted, okay? Because it shows understanding of algebra, okay? So basically, so getting all the way to saying that x is 7, 8, 9, 10, going upwards, etc. That'll get you an excellence grade. To get a merit grade, you're looking at you're looking at combining the indices. So basically you're looking at, if I go back here, you're looking at being able to combine the indices. So you're basically saying that you'll be able to do this will get you a merit, okay? And to get an achieved, you're looking at to express in index form. So basically you're saying that this will get you an achieved, okay? Okay, sorry about the background noise, just ignore it, okay? Hopefully you can still hear me really clearly, okay? Okay, I apologize for that, okay? Very sorry about the background noise, just ignore the background noise, okay? I'm sorry. It's very noisy, I know. Okay, so Jane thinks of a number k. When Jane's number is cubed, the answer is m times k. When Jane's number is squared, it is n more than k plus 5. Give an expression for n in terms of m only, okay? So let's just say Jane's number is k, right? And when Jane's number is cubed, so when Jane's number is to the power of 3, the answer is m multiplied by k, okay? Oh, sorry. That's m multiplied by k, okay? So when Jane's number is squared, so when k is squared, that equals to n more than k plus 5, so it is k plus 5 plus, so m plus n, okay? So basically, you can say that, you know, in this expression, right? if we move the k to the other side, we'll be dividing by k. So you know that k to the power of 3 divided by k becomes k to the power of 2, okay? You know that the k to the power of 3 divided by k. So we have k, sorry about the background noise. Please just ignore the background noise, okay? I apologize sincerely for the background noise, okay? So we have k to the power of 3, and then you say k to the power of 3 divided by k, okay? So basically k to the power of 3 divided by k. And k is equal to k to the power of 1, so that's just k, just basically k, okay? So basically, when we divide, okay, we have the same base, so therefore it will become 3 minus 1. So when you divide powers, it's actually minus the power, okay? It's not divide, it's minus, okay? So this actually becomes k to the power of 2, okay? So we can say that k to the power of 2 is equal to m. And therefore, we have this k squared is the same, so k squared and k squared is the same. So therefore, we can say that m is equal to k plus 5 plus n, okay? Only because these two are the same, okay? Because k squared is equal to k squared, we can say that k plus 5 plus n is equal to m, okay? So k plus 5 plus n equals to m, okay? So basically we're trying to find an expression for n in terms of m only. So we're gonna have to try to find a way to get rid of the k, okay? Finding a way to get rid of the k, okay? So basically after getting this equation, you can say k squared equals to m, right? So you know that k squared equals to m, right? So you're trying to find, if I say k, if I square root, so if I say square root of k to the power of 2, that equals to k, right? So k times k is k to the power of 2, okay? So k times k is k to the power of 2, okay? So therefore we can say that k is equal to, so if you square root on one side, you have to square root on the other side. So you're going to say that k equals the square root of m, okay? So now you know that k equals the square root of m. You can get rid of this k here. So this k can get rid of, and we can substitute that for square root of m, okay? So you can say that square root of m plus 5 plus n is equal to m, okay? Okay, so now the question asks you to find an expression for n in terms of m. So we're trying to basically, in other words, we're trying to make n the subject of the formula, okay? So we're trying to say that how many m's is equal to n, okay? So for example, m plus 5 would be equal to n, or for example, 2m plus 3 is equal to n, okay? So equals to n, okay? So a subject for n, okay? The subject is n, and then we're going to express it in terms of m only, okay? So basically we're going to say, we're going to move this to the other side of the equation, okay? So basically we're going to say n is equal to, if it's plus 5 on the other side and plus square root of m on the other side, it's become minus, okay? So equals to m minus 5 minus square root of m, okay? And that should be your final answer. So n equals to m minus 5 minus square root of m. Getting all the way here will get you an excellence grade. To get the merit grade, okay, you're looking at being able to rewrite k equals to the square root of m, being able to see that k squared equals to m, and you should be able to be working out that this equals to m. So k plus 5 plus n equals to m, okay? So all three of these will get you a merit grade, okay? To get an achieved, you basically so an achieved is basically either writing k equals to any one of these three. So either this, or either this, okay? So either one of these three will get you an achieved, okay? Alright, moving on. Question 2. H equals to 9 minus 4x squared. Give the equation for x in terms of h, okay? So basically, like I just said in the last question, when it says something in terms of something, so give the equation for x. So x is the subject, and then we're going to find it in terms of h only, okay? So that means how many h's plus something equals to x, okay? So therefore we have 9 minus 4x squared. So if we move the 9 to the other side, it'll become negative 9. Okay, so it'll become h, sorry, I don't want blue pen, black pen. Okay, so h minus 9 is equal to negative 4x squared. Okay, so you see it's negative 4 times x squared, right? So when we move the negative 4 to the other side, we're dividing by negative 4, okay? Because multiplying, if we multiply something on one side, we're going to divide it on the other side, okay? So we're going to say h minus 9 divided by negative 4 equals to x squared. And then we're going to say that because it's x squared, right? And you know that square root of x squared equals to x. So therefore we can say square root. So if we square root on one side, we have to square root on the other side, okay? So we can say square root of h minus 9 divided by negative 4 equals to x, okay? Alright, so getting all the way here, that should get you an achieved grade, okay? It's only an achieved question, okay? So simplify x squared minus 5x plus 4 divided by 5x squared minus 20x, okay? So basically we're going to factorize on the top, so we're going to say x and x, so we're going to say, because it's negative 5, and we know that 4 and 1 multiplied to get 4 and 1 multiplied to get 4, and then 4 and 1 can also, negative 4 and negative 1 can also add to get negative 5, okay? And then negative 4 and negative 1 also multiply to positive 4, okay? So we're going to say x minus 4, x minus 1, okay? On the top, and then so now you see 5x squared minus 20x, a common factor is 5, okay? You can take the 5 out, okay? You can say 5 equals to 5 times x squared minus 4x, okay? Oh, okay, so you can actually, you can actually take 5x out, because x is also a common factor. So you can say 5x multiplied by x minus 4, okay? Because 5x is a common factor, okay? So that's why I can take the 5x out, okay? So you see x minus 4 on the top and x minus 4 at the bottom. So therefore you can cancel, these two cancel out, okay? So this just equals to x minus 1 divided by 5x, okay? Okay, so getting x minus 1 divided by 5x with the correct working will get you a merit grade. To get an achieved, you can either factorize the numerator, so up here, or you can factorize the denominator, okay? So either simplifying the numerator or the denominator will get you an achieved, okay? Basically, that's it. An L-shaped model is to be made from the following sketch. What is the perimeter of the model in terms of x? Okay, so basically, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the perimeter of the model, okay? So the easiest thing in these questions is always to split it off, okay? So you see here, we can just put a line through here. We're just splitting these two sections separately, okay? Okay, yeah, we can say that, so then we don't get confused later, okay? So basically, we can say 12x plus 1 is here, 12x plus 1. And you know that this length here and this length, and so this length here, so this length here added to this length here is equal to this entire length here, okay? So basically, you can say that 2x plus 1 times by 2 is equal to this length plus this length plus this length, okay? And then we also have to add, so 2 and 4x minus 2, okay? So 4x minus 2 plus 2, that just becomes 4x, okay? So 4x minus 2 plus 2, the minus 2 and the 2 cancel out, okay? So we're going to say that this plus this is equal to 4x. And you know that this length plus this length is equal to this entire length. So you can say plus 4x, so you could show you, so you say 4x times by 2, okay? So basically that's it. So simplify now, so you can say 24x plus 2 plus 8x, okay? And that equals to 32x plus 2, okay? Okay, so basically, this gets you the merit grade, getting all the way up to here with the correct working. to get an achieved, for an achieved is basically just making one small mistake will get you achieved. So there's like not a defined way of getting an achieved. Okay, there's like so many different ways you can get an achieved by making like simple mistakes. Okay, it's like consistency of your question. Okay, so you can still get the achieved. Okay, but that's just basically making like a minor mistake will get you an achieved. Okay. The area of the model is 92 centimeters squared. What is the value of x? So remember before when we said we're going to split off the two, to split it off, so we just remove this. So, like I said, I drew a line here. So this line, we can just split it off, okay? Sorry, we split off this. So we have this area here, and we have this area here, okay? And then we're going to add it together, okay? So basically 2x plus 1 and multiply by 2 gives you this entire area. And we have 4x minus 2. And then we have 2x plus 3. Okay, if we multiply this together, we'll get this area. Okay, if we multiply 4x squared and this, and then this, and this. Okay, that'll get you your total area. Okay, so basically we can say 12x plus 1 multiplied by 2 plus, what was it again? So plus 4x minus 2 and 2x plus 3. Okay, 4x minus 2 and 2x plus 3. So 4x minus 2 and multiplied by 3x plus 2 equals 2. And we know that the entire area equals to 92. So equals to 92. Okay? Just double check. Oh no, it's 2x plus 3, sorry. Before I screwed something up there. It's 2x plus 3. So that's 2x plus. So now we're just going to open up the brackets. We're going to say 24x plus 2. And add it to, so 4x multiplied by 2x, that becomes 8x squared. 8x squared, 4x multiplied by 3, that's 12x. Positive 12x, and negative 2 times positive 2x, that's negative 4x. Positive 12x plus negative 4x will give you positive 8x. Okay, so plus 8x. Negative 2 and plus 3 multiplied together, that'll give you negative 6. And you know that equals to 92. Okay, so now we're going to combine the like factors. We're going to say 8x squared. 24x plus 8x, that gives you plus 32x. And then we have plus 2, negative 6 plus 2, that becomes negative 4, okay? That equals to 92. So now we're going to move the 92 to the other side and make the equation equal to 0, okay? So now we're going to say 8x squared plus 32x. Positive 92 becomes negative 92 on the other side. So negative 4 minus 92, that becomes minus 96, okay? So now we can, okay, so as you can see here, 8 is a common factor, right? So we can just say, take the 8 out, and we say x squared plus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. So that equals to 0. So equals to 0. Then we say 8 of x, so 6 and 2, so positive 6 plus negative 2 make positive 4. So we can say x plus 6 and x minus 2 equals to 0. Okay, and therefore we can say x equals to negative 6 or 2. Okay, so one thing you have to keep in mind here, right, that it's actually impossible to have a negative length, okay? Because it's impossible to have a negative length, that means it's impossible for x to be negative 6. Because if x is equal to negative 6, then remember back in this L-shaped, diagram, then we'll have a negative length, okay? And it's impossible in real life to have a negative length, so therefore x equals to negative 6 is not a real solution, okay? So therefore it can only be 2 centimeters, okay? So I'll just say 2 centimeters because length can't be negative, okay? That's basically all you say. And getting all the way here and crossing out the x minus 6 will get you an excellence grade with the correct justification. That's going to get you an excellence grade. To get a merit grade, is basically you're just including the x minus 6 as a possible answer. So you didn't cross out the x minus 6, you'll get a merit grade. To get an achieved, there's so many ways you can get an achieved. So you can set up an equation for area. So you can set up the equation saying that this whole thing is equal to 92. That will get you an achieved. So basically the other ways to get an achieved is just making a minor mistake but still being consistent with your answer, okay? So for example, you made a mistake during your working, and because of that mistake you got the incorrect final answer, but because it's only a minor mistake, it can still be considered for an achieved grade, okay? So basically that's the other ways you can get an achieved for this question. Alright, next question. Leo is laying square concrete tiles for his deck. He starts laying them down to form a square pattern, but his friend thinks it would be better if they were laid out to form a rectangle. He changes his layout to make out the length of the deck 6 tiles longer than the width of the deck, 4 tiles shorter, okay? He finds that he needs 2 extra tiles to complete the rectangular pattern. How many tiles did he start with? Okay, so he starts by having him form a square pattern, okay? So basically, we don't know, so we basically have an x squared, okay, equals to something we want to find out, okay? So then he changes his layout to make the length of this deck 6 tiles longer. So we can say one side is x plus 6 tiles longer, and the other side becomes x, and the other side becomes x 4 tiles shorter, so the other side becomes x minus 4. And that equals to y minus 2, x plus 2, okay? Because he needs 2 more tiles to complete it. So that means he used 2 more tiles in the rectangular pattern than the square pattern. So in the square pattern, he used less tiles, okay? So therefore, we can say x squared plus, so we're just opening out, okay? Expanding, minus 24 equals to y plus 2. So we're going to move this plus 2 to the other side of the equation. So we're going to say x squared plus 2x plus 2 becomes negative 2, so negative 26 equals to y, okay? So basically, you see that these both are equal to y, right? So x squared equals to y, and x squared plus 2x minus 26 is also equal to y. So because they're both equal to y, which is the same thing, we can say that these two are equal, okay? So we can say x squared plus 2x minus 26 equals to x squared, okay? So therefore, we're going to move the x squared to this side of the equation, okay? So we're going to say x squared minus x squared, that's nothing, okay? So that becomes, so these two x squareds are gone. That's gone, and that's gone. So therefore, we get 2x minus 26 equals to 0. And therefore, we get 2x equals to 26. And therefore, we can say that 26 divided by 2 is x. So 26 divided by 2 equals to 13, okay? So it equals to 13 tiles, okay? So here's 13 tiles. So the question asks you, okay, so how many tiles did he start with, okay? So basically, he started off with a square, right? And that square was x to the power of 2, okay? And we found out that x equals to 13, so we can say that 13 to the power of 2 is how many tiles he had to start with, which is 169, okay? So therefore, he had 169 tiles to start with, okay? So getting all the way here with the correct working and finding out that there's 169 tiles to begin with, you'll get an excellence grade. To get a merit grade, okay? To get a merit grade, you're looking at setting up an equation and simplifying the equation, okay? So basically, you're looking at setting up this equation, and then you're solving this equation here. So let's say we solve this equation, okay? So here, so therefore that will get you a merit grade. And to get an achieved, you only have to do one of them. So you have to. So if you just do setting up the equation, you'll get an achieved. Basically, that's what it's saying. Okay. All right. So next question. Question 3. The area of a rectangle can be represented by 3x squared plus 2x minus 40. State the length and the width of this rectangle in terms of x. Okay. So basically, the area of the rectangle is calculated by base times width. Not base times width. Length times width. Okay. So therefore, we're gonna factorize this. Okay, so we're gonna say 3x. So the factors of 3, right? The factors of 3 are 3 and 1, because it's a prime number, and the prime numbers have only 3 and itself as factors. Okay, so therefore it has to be 3x on one side and then 1x on the other side. So it's just x. Then you have a negative 40, and you have plus 2. So what multiplies to negative 40, and what with the 3x adds to negative 2. Okay, so basically that's it. Okay, so basically the factors of 40. So what are the factors of 40? So 40 and 1, 10 and 4. We also have 20 and 2. We also have 8 and 5. Okay, so we have these are the factors for 40. Okay, so now it's just trying to see which works to give out negative 2x. Okay, so basically, if we say 4 and 10, for example, okay, if we say 4 and 10, we could say that this is negative 4. We can say this is positive 10. Okay, so negative 4 times 3x, that's negative 12x, and then we're gonna negative 12x plus 10 multiplied by x, so plus 10x is negative 2x, so this is right. Okay, so therefore stating the length and the width in terms of x, so basically it's just one side is 3x plus 10 and the other is x minus 4. Okay, so basically this is all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. Don't write x equals to something or something else. Okay, just write this out, and that gets you an achieved. So given that this quadratic expression represents the area of a rectangle, what would be the possible values of x? Okay, so now you're going to write down the possible values of x. Okay, so basically you can say 3x plus 10. So 3x plus 10 equals to 0, or x minus minus 4. Wait, hold up. Just a second. Just let me. Okay, so basically, sorry about that. So basically, x is equal to negative 10 over 3, or x equals to 4. Okay. So basically, because x has to be a positive number, because length has to be positive and width has to be positive. So basically, you can just say x has to be greater than 4. Okay. Because if we say x equals to 4, then it will be equal to 0, and it's impossible to have like a zero area or 0 length. Okay. So therefore, x has to be greater than 4 in order for this to be true. Okay. Basically. Okay, so 2 to the power of 3x plus 4 is greater than 2x squared. Find the values of x. Okay, So basically, in this question, we have the same base, okay? Because we have the same base, we can just get rid of these bases, and we can say 3x plus 4 is greater than x squared. So basically, we move this to the other side, so we can say 0 is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4. So therefore, we can say 0 equals to, we're gonna factorize this, so we can say x and x. So we can say negative 4 and positive 1. So therefore, x is equal to negative 1 or 4. And oh, okay. Sorry. It's greater than. I keep forgetting the greater than sign. Sorry. So 0 is greater than x plus 1 times x minus 4. And we found that if x equals to negative 1 or 4, then it will be equal to 0. But we want it for when x is less than 0, okay? So you think about this. So this is a positive parabola. So it's like when the parabola looks like this, okay? So we have our negative 1 here, we have our 4 here. So we see that when the x values are in between negative 1 and 4, then the parabola dips below 0. And when it's bigger than 4, so when it's bigger than 4 or less than negative 1, then the parabola will go above 0, okay? So basically, when it's less than 0 is when it's in between negative 1 and 4, okay? So we'll say that x is greater than negative 1, but is smaller than 4, okay? It's getting all the way here, that's going to get you the excellence grade. To get a merit grade, to get the correct merit grade, so you're just getting this, but you do not do this. You have to say 4 is greater than x and x is greater than negative 1 to get the excellence grade, okay? So if you only say x is equal to negative 1 or 4, then you only get a merit grade for the question, okay? To get an achieved relationship given for the exponent, so basically you can just say 0 is greater than x squared minus 3x minus 4. Or you can just have consistent solution. So if you make like a minor mistake, you'll still get an achieved mark, okay? Alright. Tane and Pete are raising funds for their sports trip. Between them, they need to raise $1,000. There are only 5 weeks until they need the money. Tane gets paid $15 an hour and Pete gets paid $16 an hour as he has more experience. Between them, they work a total of 13 hours each week. What is the average number of hours that each of them need to work per week if they were to have the exact amount of money they need, okay? So you see they need to raise $1,000. There are 5 weeks until they need to get the money. And they work for a total of 13 hours each. They work for a total of 13 hours each week, okay? So basically, 15 times total amount of time plus Pete gets paid 16 times so 15 times unknown time, and then 16 times for example unknown time, so equals to 200 actually. Okay, so the reason it's 200, okay, they need to raise $1,000 in 5 weeks, so therefore they only need to raise $200 in 1 week, okay, and this is the equation for 1 week, so each week they need to earn $200, okay. So basically we can say the total amount of time that Tane works plus the total amount of time that Pete works, that equals to 13. And, okay, so now we have to get rid of one variable, okay? So we have t plus p equals to 13, and we have 15t plus 16p equals to 200, okay? So now we can say that, 15 times of this equation can get rid of all the 15 t's here, okay? It will just leave us with p, okay? So we'll say that 15t minus, 15t plus 16p minus 15 times t plus p is equal to 200. It's equal to 200 minus, you see the 13 here, so equal to this minus 13 times 15. Okay, so this is what you will get. Okay, so 15t and negative 15t, they cancel out, so it's gone. 16p minus 15p, that gives us only p, so therefore p equals to 200 minus 200 minus 13 times 15, and that equals to 5. Okay, now you find out that p equals to 5, and that means P works for a total amount of 5 hours, and therefore in total they work for 13 hours, so therefore Tani will work for 8 hours. Okay, so Pete works for 5 hours, Tane works for 8 hours. Okay, and getting up to here, you'll get an excellence grade. To get R, okay, so getting an R will basically be removing one variable, so getting up to here, it's going to get you a merit grade. Getting achieved, okay, so getting an achieved is basically just stating this first equation here. Okay, that'll get you an achieved. Okay, alright, last question. A and B are two consecutive odd numbers where B is greater than A. If C equals to B divided by A minus A divided by B, give the value of C in terms of A, and explain why this will always be an even number divided by an odd number. Okay, so B is greater than A, right? So B has to be equal to A plus 2, okay? So the reason that B equals to A plus 2 is because the difference between two consecutive odd numbers is 2, okay? So for example, 13 and 15 are two consecutive odd numbers. 15 minus 13 is 2, okay? So therefore, B equals to A plus 2. So basically, B divided by A minus A divided by B equals to C. Okay, so then we can substitute B equals to A plus 2. Say A plus 2 divided by A minus to A divided by A plus 2, because we're substituting B equals to A plus 2, right? So equals, and that equals to C. So now we're gonna make the denominator the same. So A squared plus 2A over A plus 2 times A plus 2, so A squared plus 4A plus 4 minus A times A, which is A squared, divided by A squared plus 2A, and that equals to C. So therefore C is equal to A squared minus A squared is gone. Okay, so you get 4. So you get 4. That's just big A. Okay, so we get 4A plus 4 divided by A squared plus 2A. Okay, so as you can see, the numerator will always be even. Okay, so so an even number times any number is always even, and 4 is an even number. So an even number plus an even number will be an even number. So an even number times any number will be even, and plus an even number plus an even number will be even. So therefore the top will always be even, and the bottom will always be odd. Okay. Okay, so basically any odd, so you know that A is an odd number, right? So I'm going to say an odd number squared is always odd, okay? So an odd number squared is always odd. So 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, 9 is odd, 5 squared is 25, 25 is odd. And an odd number times, so an even number times an odd number is an even number. So an odd number plus an even number is always an odd number, okay? So therefore it will always be even divided by odd, okay? So I don't really have time to write that down, so just keep in mind, so you're just going to write two statements. So the first statement will be 4, so an even number times any number is an even number, and an even number times and an even number added to a 4, which is an even number, will always be even, so therefore the numerator will always be even. And an odd number squared is always odd, and because an odd number squared is always odd, and an even number times an odd number is always even, so the bottom would be an even number plus an odd number, and an even number plus an odd number is always odd, so therefore the denominator will always be odd. Okay, so just remember to add these two statements at the end. Okay, so if you have the two statements and you have this c equals to 4a plus 4 divided by a squared plus 2a, you'll get the excellence grade. Okay, to get a merit grade, you're looking at well, expansion of numerator. So basically this here will get you a merit grade. Okay, and to get an achieved grade, it's basically just substituting a plus 2 and substitute a plus 2 into the equation. So we're going to say, oh, it's not working, it's switching. So basically this, so this is, okay, so this is glitching. So okay, so we'll just use this arrow then. We're going to say that this, by doing this will get you an achieved. Okay, alright, so thank you for watching this walkthrough for the 2017 MCAT for day 1. Okay, hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll see you in the next video. Okay.